Good evening. Welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High basketball. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined by Jim Allender and Phil Hill for tonight's East Brunswick St. Joe's game, and the place is already rocking, guys.
Absolutely. Boy, I'll tell you what, East Brunswick off to a 2-6 start, and kind of unaccustomed for the Bears to be starting off as slow as they are, John, but we can understand why. I was talking to Bo Henning, the coach of East Brunswick, and this team has not shot over 30% all season long, and that answers a lot of questions. East Brunswick, admittedly, is not a team with a lot of speed. They do have some height up front with Matt Berliner, Nick Szymanski, and Richie Kutza. They're all over 6'4". So if East Brunswick's going to get this job done tonight, they're going to have to do it with rebounding and going up against the boards and scoring inside. I don't know. It's going to be difficult against St. Joe's. This is, as Phil's going to allude to, this is a club that's 6-2, and they got a lot of team speed.
Phil, the natural rivalry, East Brunswick, St. Joe's. St. Joe's coming in with the upper hand tonight.
They definitely are, John, and they're a typical St. Joe's team. They may not have as much depth as they've had in the past, but they have a trio of tri-captains here, Tom Driscoll, Tim Corrigan, and Ryan Moglia. And they're tough. They're veterans. Talked to Joe Kozlik, his first year at the helm for St. Joe's, and he says he's just trying to mix in the young guys with the veterans there and keep things going. They're coming off a tough loss, 69-57 to Perth Amboy. Kozlik said it was a great game for the fans, but a tough game for them. They expect to bounce back tonight, and as you pointed out, anytime St. Joe's and East Brunswick gets together, it's usually a hot one.
Let me ask you guys, is this a game that could turn around East Brunswick's season?
I think without a doubt, this is one of the type of games that East Brunswick can use as a measuring point for future success. They have not had a good season. They've lost to Piscataway, as Phil mentioned, St. Joe's losing to. They went into the West Windsor tournament and was just beaten by a good South Brunswick team. They've also faced some quality teams, Perth Amboy, Stevens, Edison, and Saraville, and has lost to all those teams. So to beat St. Joseph would be a good rallying point for this club.
I'll tell you, Jim and John, to quote Bo Henning, talked to him earlier today, and he said this is a game that could be a maker or a breaker. He feels his team may be lacking a little bit of confidence right now, and probably there's nothing better than have a St. Joe's team to bring them out of it. As you remember last year, a tremendous game, fast-paced pressure all over the court, and the Bears came away with that victory there. If anybody's going to get the adrenaline flowing, it will be St. Joseph.
Well, one thing that fans will have to get used to not seeing, and that is John Samoji leading the charge here at St. Joe's.
Well, I tell you, he may not be leading the charge, but he's still involved, much to my surprise. I talked to Joe Kozlik. He said that John Samoji is considered an assistant coach, and he is there helping out when he can. And I think most of us know the story. John taking some time off, deciding that he wants to see the early days of his daughter, Christian, at the University of Virginia. So, but nevertheless, John is still part of the program.
Well, it should be a good one tonight from East Brunswick High School, the Bears and the Falcons, and we'll be back with the start of this game in just a moment. Well, we welcome you back for the start of this game, and as you look in on the huddle of Coach Bo Henning, East Brunswick getting ready to come out on the court. Jim, you have the starting lineups?
Yes, I do. For East Brunswick, 55, Matt Berliner, Richie Kutza, 31, Nick Szymanski, number 50, Tim Cannon, 44, and Kareem Glover, number 13. Glover and Cannon are the guards. Ryan Moglia, number 10. Let's see who else we got. Mike Durakas, 24, Tom Driscoll, 34, Tim Corrigan, 41, and Jay Holzman, number 44 for St. Joe's.
All right, we're about ready to get this game underway. Good crowd on hand at the high school.
Well, they're not quite ready to get the game underway. It appears that the officials have asked them to hold up. I believe it's a radio timeout, or things aren't quite ready to kick off.
Well, I think the official is questioning the bouncing ability of the ball, so they just put a pin in. Maybe a little air out of the ball.
Veteran officials, man, they know by touch.
It is a hot atmosphere. I think we didn't see it, but there was an announcement by the East Brunswick student senior class president about sportsmanship between the two teams. And as we know, this is a hot rivalry.
Well, it looks like we're about ready to go. East Brunswick in the green, St. Joe's in the white. East Brunswick comes in 2 and 6. St. Joe's 6 and 2 as the Bears will control. This is O'Neal to Cannon. Kutza moving around well. Glover looking inside. Berliner on a turnaround. Won't go. Rebound. Corrigan, and here comes the Falcons. Meggiolaro is the playmaker.
And the Bears are in their man-to-man defense, as was St. Joseph.
Stolen. East Brunswick has it.
Okay.
Berliner.
Good hand by Glover, knocking the ball loose.
O'Neal will set the pace for the Bears.
Phil, you get the feeling that if East Brunswick's going to score, they're going to have to get almost underneath the basket.
Cannon tries to go inside, brings it back out to Berliner. A lot of movement.
It's a good point, Jim. The
Cannon, three-pointer, yes.
So he hits a 3.
And I'll tell you, that is an extremely big basket. Bo Henning says one of the big problems for him is that they haven't been able to hit the outside shot. Teams know it. They've been sloughing off and therefore defending better down low. So hitting the outside shot is extremely important.
Sure, it opens up a couple of things inside.
St. Joe's looking to work underneath. They do. Shot won't go. Rebound O'Neal. Shot was taken by Driscoll. Quickly down court looking for Kutza. Stolen. It'll stay East Brunswick's way.
And I'll tell you, quick hands by Mike Durakis. Durakis, a Milltown resident, showing good defensive ability.
Neal gets it out to Kutza. Back to Cannon, who hit the three-pointer. Looking inside, there's Kutza. A little strong. Glover on the rebound, no foul. I mean, a foul called, no basket.
And Glover showed me something. First time we've seen this young fella play. And Glover, just a sophomore, 5'10" sophomore. Kareem Glover, and already he's been rather instrumental early on.
First period action, Bears on top 3-0. Cannon will give it out to Glover. Back to O'Neal. They're going to call him for traveling.
East Brunswick's going to have to be patient. They're going to have not look up to put a shot up early.
Meggiolaro takes his time bringing it up court. So far, St. Joe's moving around the perimeter. Inside move won't go by Corrigan, and Glover with the rebound to O'Neal.
Phil, looks like St. Joe's strategy is to get inside too.
Shot in and out by Cannon. Bears still by 3.
And they got Glover for leaning on Cannon that time.
St. Joe's will inbound from the side.
Veteran St. Joe's unit here.
Driscoll to Durakis. Looking again inside. Berliner knocks it away.
Good defense by the Bears.
Kutza in the paint. Knocked and blocked away by Driscoll.
And
Mercy.
not
Corrigan,
blocked out of
I'm
bounds
sorry.
either. Great defensive play.
Corrigan showing his leaping ability, just swatting it away.
Stolen by O'Neal. Layup. It's Bears now 5-0. Speed of O'Neal.
And I'll tell you, if you're Bo Hennings, you got to be pleased that the Bears have gotten out of blocks rather quickly.
Kevin O'Neal leading East Brunswick in steals with 17. That's 18 now.
Corrigan to Holzman.
Definitely trying to get it inside.
Meggiolaro will take it and hits.
And
Two-pointer.
And he's the thoroughbred. Ryan Meggiolaro, East Brunswick resident, has been a tough ball player for the last 3 years for St. Joe's.
There's Meggiolaro there on the steal. He'll take it himself. And a charge will be called. Ball will go East Brunswick's way.
Nice play by Tim Cannon to get in front of Ryan Meggiolaro.
And
Looked like the correct call, Phil.
while the St. Joe's bench wasn't so sure about it, Meggiolaro certainly driving in there, giving up the body, and Cannon able to draw the foul.
All right, Phillips is in for Glover, and that's he with the ball. Right away, looks
Good
inside
pass.
to Berliner. Little short.
Great pass by Eric.
Quickly, St. Joe's, DeRockis. Short. And the crowd gets on him.
Well, moving up the ball rather quickly, taking it himself instead of looking for the open man.
I think both teams with a lot of nervous energy
Well,
here.
I think they're tight, no doubt about it.
O'Neal to Phillips. He'll take the baseline, pulls up, tries to dish it off. Finally does to Berliner. Spins, moves, just can't find the hole.
Berliner's made 2 strong moves underneath, not able to put the basket down, though, Howard.
East Brunswick just needs to convert inside.
Moglia slows it down. A lot of infighting underneath.
Bears content to stay in the man-to-man.
Back out to Moglia, he'll take the shot. He'll hit the rim, East Brunswick has it.
Well, if St. Joe's can continue to be cold from outside, East Brunswick should be in good shape.
Cannon across to Berliner. Now East Brunswick will set up. Phillips needs some help. Finds it. Berliner on the jumper. In and out, he's cold.
3rd time for Berliner where ball's rimmed the basket, just hasn't gone down.
3:20 remaining, first period. DeRockis is fouled underneath. They're gonna call it on Berliner.
So Matt picks up his first foul, and it looks like Szymanski is going to replace him. Glover will return also.
Szymanski, number 50, comes in for Berliner. Glover goes back in, and Cannon will take a breather.
And I'll tell you, as you take a good look at Mike DeRockis, he's a sophomore from Milltown. 2 Milltown players on this St. Joe's team.
Off the rim, he'll get one more. Our score is 5-2. We're in the first period at East Brunswick High School. East Brunswick on top. Make it 5-3 now as O'Neal brings it up. Phillips drives the lane. Has the little dish, won't go.
Well, he whooped and scooped, it didn't go down.
Unable to be saved. Bears move back on defense.
Bears are just not converting on those inside shots.
Moglia directing traffic.
Look at this matchup inside with Corrigan and Glover.
Driscoll now gets it out to Beko.
And the entire East Brunswick bench is pointing one way, and the official sees it the other way.
Tim Driscoll standing 6'3", going against Glover, who's all of about 5'10". It's quite a mismatch inside.
Moglia finds the air, and that's it.
And Ryan just simply looks towards the bench, and we pointed out they're both tight. Ryan certainly wants to have a good showing. As I say, this is home for him. And didn't go down.
O'Neal to Phillips. Phillips takes it short. Glover finally scoops it up. O'Neal, 3-pointer. Yes. Makes it 8-3. Bears by 5. 2 minutes remaining, first period.
And the 5'11" senior, Kevin O'Neal, showing a nice touch on the ball there. Rimmed the basket nicely and fell down.
Has 2 points. Excuse me, 5 points.
Won't go for Driscoll. DeRockis saves it. Has
Nice
it blocked by Phillips. And they're saying it's white ball.
I'll tell you, the Bears are playing great defense right now.
They really are.
Hockman coming in, number 22, Szymanski and Berliner.
And East Brunswick not afraid to rotate a lot of players. I think Henning understanding this is a fast-paced game.
And St. Joe's known to rotate a lot of players, but they don't have the depth. Again, Koslick talked about the fact that he wanted to get a lot of the younger players involved, but...
All right, Kenny Claw, that just came in, stepped on the end line, and East Brunswick gets possession.
Szymanski will give it to Hockman.
So you've got Claw in there, and Magapo.
Outside, Berliner. Hockman. Kicked away by DeRockis. Stays with East Brunswick.
128, John. St. Joe's has but 3 points this period.
Surprising. Actually, it's rather low scoring. A lot of movement, few points. As Hockman will start things over again. Phillips, not afraid to take it up. And they're gonna call him for a double dribble.
And Phillips dribbled the ball between his legs, tried to go to the basket, and the offside official called him for the double dribble.
Clock running down at 1:15, first period. Bears by 5, 8-3. And we're gonna have a little push, I believe.
I think it's a pick.
Yeah, you're right. It's a block against 40.
Meggiolaro. That's a M-G-B-A-K-O. O-B is his first name.
That's right, 6'3" sophomore.
All right.
O-B's easier.
They used the break to get Kutza back in.
Right now it's Szymanski, Hockman,
What's
Glover.
going on here? He is it.
They got 6 guys out there, and that's going to be a foul. Now the referee stops action.
But they're going to call a T on him.
Trying to get Kutza in the game, and he stepped on the court. They would have had 6 players on. The official gave him the benefit of the doubt and told him he could go in.
Yes, they did.
Kutza will then inbound it, and now we've got it straight. We've got 5 on the court for East Brunswick as Hockman quickly in the corner to Cannon.
East Brunswick, they seem to be pressing to get it in there.
Kutza with it. Back to Hockman. 50 seconds remaining. And steps called on Glover.
And the officials not afraid to blow the whistle tonight.
These are 2 veteran officials. We've
Yes,
seen them around, and they'll keep a game in control.
That they will, and it has been in control thus far.
Are you surprised by the slow pace of St. Joe's? I thought they'd try to run more on East Brunswick. Driscoll with the basket. I'm sorry, Corrigan with the basket.
Taking matters in his own hand right there. Just individual move, put it up and made the basket.
Yeah, these guys have some pure talent.
25 seconds. East Brunswick by 3, 8-5.
All right, here's a different rotation that we haven't seen. It's kind of like makes it available for a backdoor play, Phil. And I think that's what East Brunswick's trying.
Down to 6 seconds.
Gonna have to go with it.
Berliner looks underneath. Hockman has it knocked away. 2 seconds, that'll do it. And so a lot of activity for nothing as the first period comes to an end. East Brunswick on top, 8-5.
And Bo Henning puts his hands on his hip, did not yell, but had a little look of disgust. You play the clock down. You do want to get at least a shot off, an attempt off. They weren't able to do it that time.
And they did not have an awareness of the clock, quite frankly. They were more concerned about rotating their offense and getting the passes, and they didn't realize there was a couple seconds left. Hockman should have taken that shot.
As we see Bo talking to the troops, anything surprise you with that first period?
I'll tell you, just the pace. I thought it would be a lot more frantic. We've come to expect that between East Brunswick and St. Joe's team. Neither team is doing any full court pressure there. I think St. Joe's thinking is that we'll just play our game. East Brunswick's percentage, they haven't been hitting from the outside. They haven't been playing good offensively, so let's not wear ourselves out. And we'll press when we have to. They're not putting the pressure on the Bears at this juncture. You may see that change, however.
John and Phil, I couldn't help but attempt to look over to the St. Joe's bench and notice Mr. Samoji there standing up with just this calm, serene look on his face. And we're not used to seeing that.
But it did look like he wanted to say a few words. Anyway, St. Joe's starts the second period off. Obi with the ball, over to Clough.
Gotta believe they're gonna try to get it inside for the easy shot.
Clough, there it is. Nice move. St. Joe's now trails by 1, 8-7.
And a little full court pressure here.
I'm surprised they haven't pressed since the beginning of the game.
O'Neal gets it down quickly to Cannon in the corner. A lot of pushing going on. As Glover now with the ball looking, finds Berliner.
This is really superb defense.
Driscoll knocks it away. Takes it, has it blocked by Kutza.
Wow.
And East Brunswick will go back on offense.
Fine individual efforts thus far on defense.
O'Neal in the corner, Kutza, three-pointer. Yes!
And again, a good omen. They're hitting that outside shot.
Kutza, with just a 10-point per game average this season, shows a nice form.
11-7, East Brunswick by 4. Driscoll looking for the baseline, finds it, dishes it out. Good movement of the ball, and they're going to call a travel against Corrigan.
And I'll tell you, the St. Joe's looking surprisingly tight. You just don't, you expect it early on. By now they would have loosened up, and they're doing the full court pressure right now. That may turn things around.
It's a nice pass.
Cannon in traffic, tries again, won't go. Berliner.
He was fouled there.
Dips his shoulder, and he's
Offensive
fouled.
foul. You called it, John.
Oh.
He dipped that shoulder and leaned in, Jim, and official standing right there.
He was nailed before that. That's what I was looking at. Okay, Berliner picks up his second foul. Each team with 3 team fouls.
St. Joe's walking it up court. Corrigan with the ball, setting things up. Corrigan throws it away.
Nobody inside.
So O'Neill brings it up for the Bears. They lead 11-7, second period. Berliner to Cannon. He looks inside for Kutza, has it knocked away.
It turns out to be a steal.
So defense has been the name thus far of this game.
Okay, consecutive times downs. The Bears have come away with nothing, and good defense has put the ball in possession of St. Joe's.
Nice
Another
play by
steal.
Cannon.
Boy, we've been seeing a lot of it. Great individual efforts on defense.
O'Neill, Kutza, three-pointer. No, not this time. Cannon on the follow-through. He's fouled.
It's the foul.
Foul will be called against Corrigan.
His first.
Szymanski and Phillips coming in the game. Berliner
And I'll
will
tell
take
you,
a rest, as will Glover.
you take a good look at Tim Cannon, a 6'4" junior guard. Last game against Servo, he had 18 points, shot 3 three-pointers, so the young fellow knows how to put up the ball.
He's getting experience now. East Brunswick's first trip to the line, John.
Good technique as Cannon makes it 12-7.
And O'Neill shooting 50% from the charity stripe.
East Brunswick now increases its lead by 6, 13-7, with 5:30 to go before halftime. Clough trying to direct traffic. And a foul's going to be called against Phillips.
Eric,
Number 4.
Eric Phillips reaching in, and Bo Henning just said Eric Phillips offensively has been hot at times. Defense is where he seems to not be as tough as some of the other players.
Boy, it's tough going inside.
Driscoll to DeRockis, off the glass. Phillips with it.
Wow.
Ball's alive.
Whoops.
Oh, wow.
Went off East Brunswick
I'll tell you,
player.
Went off Cannon's hand.
Like a pinball machine, that ball bouncing all over.
Well, not a lot of smooth offense tonight, but from the defensive,
Great.
I don't think I've seen a more intense
Great
defensive
intensity.
half. St. Joe's, I suspect, is still going to try to get it inside to either Corrigan or Driscoll.
There's Driscoll, three-pointer.
So he shoots it outside
Won't
again,
go.
guys.
Phillips up high for the rebound.
Big rebound.
There's the press.
Szymanski inside, has it knocked away by Holzman, who's been kind of quiet tonight.
15 fouls, so East Brunswick should be in a bonus situation after this. This is a 2-shot foul.
Szymanski goes to the line. Bears still on top, 13-7, 4:45 remaining, second period.
This is only Nick's 8th trip to the charity stripe this year. He's shooting 57%.
Makes it 14-7.
And the 6'3" senior hits it. Szymanski has been a contributor to the Bears basketball team and certainly a very valuable contributor to their football team as well.
East Brunswick 4 for 4.
So East Brunswick's lead is increased by 8, 15-7. And again, St. Joe's deliberately coming up court. Still looking to work that ball inside. DeRockis. to Holzman.
I think that ball has grease on it tonight. It's been slipping out of players' hands.
And they'll start over with Clough trying to set some things up.
Great
He's
defense.
caught in the corner.
Great defense.
And East Brunswick playing the D tonight as Phillips takes the rebound, goes straight up court for the layup.
Just a
And
fantastic
St.
move.
Joe's wants a timeout.
And well,
they're
they
gonna get it.
should. And well, they should. 17-7. And I see the St. Joe's team get more frustrated as each minute goes by.
I think you're right, Jim. We talked about this being a maker or breaker for the East Brunswick Bears, and St. Joe's, as you take a look at their huddle right now, and I guess the main thing that you keep in mind here, we're used to seeing St. Joe's come in here with great defense. They're playing great defense, but it's half-court defense, not full-court defense, where they're able to get the transition basket. We're not seeing any forced turnovers and transition baskets, and I have a good feeling that Joe Kozlik is talking about that, and I think you can expect him to come out with pressure all over the court.
Phil, I gotta admit, I'm a little surprised that they are slowed down to East Brunswick's pace and have not tried to push that ball up and back.
Exactly what I'm talking about, letting East Brunswick control the tempo of the game, and we're not used to seeing that from a St. Joe's team. Kozlik, as we pointed out, who was an assistant with John Smoji for the last 3 years, now in his first year here, knows basketball. He's been a winner everywhere he's been, so you can bet he's going to make some adjustments.
Well, we have 4:04 remaining before halftime. The Bears are on top by 10, 17-7. And you can't fault anything with that East Brunswick defense.
7 points by St. Joe's. Only 4 minutes left in the first half.
Falcons with Meggiolaro back in now, leading the charge. Riley, 42, looks inside to Holzman.
Nothing there.
DeRakis will try. And a foul will be called late.
There's a push off underneath. I believe Szymanski involved, right? I think he was leaning on Holzman.
Okay, that's team foul number 5. So that should 1-1 after this.
All right, under their own basket will be St. Joe's. Little give and go there, still nowhere to go. And so Falcons have to bring it outside again. They'll try the baseline, and a foul's gonna be called on Cannon.
All right, this time, now we should have a bonus situation. For East Brunswick, no one in foul trouble except Berliner. Szymanski with 1, Phillips 1, Cannon 1, Glover 1. And why don't we have a 1-on-1 here?
I think they missed it, Jim. Good call, though.
Okay,
we'll see. We'll check it out.
Bears continue to play great defense.
Drive by Driscoll with a few steps included. No call as Cannon takes the rebound.
And notice the Bears not looking to run. Just a frustrating half for the Falcons.
3 minutes now remaining. Szymanski inside. O'Neal gets it using the glass. 19-7, Bears by 12.
I'll tell you, just unbelievable. And Bo Henning up, exhorting his team on. And he's got to be feeling great with his position right now.
I think we got an offensive foul.
There's some body bumping underneath there, and it may just be a frustration foul right there.
They might have Holzman.
You're right, Jim. It is Holzman.
And that's a frustration foul right there. And I tell you, I think you're going to see him come out. He's a little aggravated. And
Corrigan's going in.
They got to maintain their cool if they want to stay in this game.
Bears by 12. 2:35 remaining before halftime. 19-7 is our score. Phillips all alone. Has it stuffed, but a foul's going to be called.
I'll tell you, could have gone either way.
DeRakis is the culprit.
DeRakis appeared to have some nothing but hand on the ball, but the officials call it.
Well, if you don't want to foul somebody, Eric Phillips is the guy, because he is leading the team in free throw percentage, 74% from the line, 20 on 27. And thus far, East Brunswick is perfect, 4 for 4.
All right, Phillips at the line, looking to add to East Brunswick's 12-point lead at this point. Makes it 20-7. Short this time. So it's 13 for the Bears. That's their lead. 2:25 remaining. Second period action from East Brunswick High School. Durakis will put it up. Good move for the bucket, and it's only the 9th point for St. Joe's.
And only the 4th field goal.
O'Neal to Kutza.
Nice
underneath.
pass. Nice play by Durakis.
And double dribble goes back to East Brunswick.
That's exactly what happened. He dribbled to stop the ball, and then he just took off again.
And we talked about the fact that these are veteran officials there. Joe Koslick Sr. doesn't like it, questioning the call, however.
So you got another steal. You know, as a sophomore.
Cannon knocks it away, and it's
Again, great defense by the Bears.
Yeah, Durakis impresses me. He's very poised for a sophomore.
Very
Has good
quick.
moves to the basket.
that is he, Durakis, with the ball. Only a sophomore, as we've said. Looking inside, and a foul's going to be called on Kutza.
Light foul. Well,
Ooh, that was
he picks up his
Sort of a
first.
touchy.
Yeah.
And Tim Corrigan, one of the steady players for St. Joe's, one of the real leaders. He is a tri-captain.
Corrigan gives St. Joe's its 10th point of the game. And changes for East Brunswick. Corrigan will get one more. Our score is 20-10. And it'll stay that way. O'Neal controls it with 1:35 remaining in this second period.
And
Bears on top.
Quite frankly, why hurry?
Bad
Great.
pass.
That was a great trap.
Good pass that time. And the feed gives
And-
Moggia the
and
layup.
right away, you see the full court pressure there by St. Joe's, trying to create something. That's the brand of ball we're used to seeing them play.
1:15 remaining. O'Neal, three-pointer, short.
And the Falcons are running.
Yeah, they're
Driscoll looks underneath.
making a run here in the last
Phillips.
minute.
As Corrigan misses on the reverse.
They missed it. That was a backcourt. Caught the ball before he came over the end line.
O'Neal driving. They're going to call a charge.
It's a foul.
That's O'Neal's first foul.
And Corrigan taking the shot, drawing the offensive foul.
You talk about even distribution of fouls, except for Berliner with 2. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 East Brunswick players with 1 foul each.
Inside of 50 seconds now, as Corrigan slowly walks up the court.
Well, the Bears are unraveling just a little bit here towards the end of the first half.
They do lead by 8, 20-12.
Wow, that's tight inside.
Moggia still looking.
Very physical, Phil.
Driscoll has it knocked away. Szymanski comes up with the ball. And now O'Neal will take his time as he comes up with 20 seconds.
And you got to believe the Bears are going to play for one shot, gentlemen.
Got to connect on the passes, though.
Cannon to Szymanski. Looking inside for Kutza. Nice move to the ball and the
Ooh,
basket.
I'll tell you, I'm surprised he didn't draw the foul as well.
Surprised.
5 seconds. Moglia. And he won't have it at the half. So the teams go into the locker room. Bears on top, 22-12.
And I'll tell you, it's got to be a surprise, gentlemen. I don't think anyone expected it. No disrespect to the Bears. I don't think St. Joe's is playing the game. Certainly not the type of game that we've become used to. But you got to give the Bears a lot of credit. They're hitting the baskets when they need to, and they're playing great defense.
I agree with Phil that East Brunswick has played probably its best half of the season. You have to think up by 12 points against a 6-2 St. Joe's team. But just a little caution here, that last 2 minutes, you saw the defensive pressure that St. Joe's can apply and how it can quickly turn a game around. And I think Bo Henning's going to be talking about that to his team at halftime.
Well, as the teams move into the locker room, we'll take a break and we'll come back with the start of the third period in just a moment. Though it's halftime here at the East Brunswick St. Joe's basketball game, I'm pleased to say that a special guest has just dropped by. He's former Dallas Cowboy great, Drew Pearson. Drew, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
What brings you to New Jersey?
Well, I've been in New York all week on business, and since this is a long week with Martin Luther King holiday falling on Monday,
that's right,
I decided to come on through and spend some time here in the Middlesex County. I'm thinking of Dallas, the Metroplex.
Well, we're glad to have you here. And, Drew, you've got to be happy your Cowboys are heading into the NFC Championship game this weekend.
Yeah, the Cowboys are definitely back. They had a great year, regular season, losing only 3 football games, winning more games than any other team in Dallas Cowboy football history. So we're really excited. Great game against the Philadelphia Eagles to beat their and now we got to go out to San Francisco and see what we can do then. But the team is fired up. They had a pep rally in Dallas Thursday night, and they had about 60,000 people there.
Wow.
So they're fired up.
Drew, if you could quickly, the difference you see between the Tom Landry era, who you played under, and now Jimmy Johnson.
Well, you know, the style of coaching is not very similar. Guys are very different in their coaching styles, but the bottom line is that they both work hard. They demand a lot from their players. They know what the type of players they need to win. So even though they're different, they're very similar in that they know what it takes to win football games. So, you know, it's hard to compare Coach Landry's style with Jimmy's style because there's no similarities. But what you do is you take the common denominator, which is winning, and they're both committed to doing that. And that's why the team has become successful in such a short period of time under Jimmy Johnson.
Drew, I understand that in a couple days you're going to be honored and be elected into the New Jersey Sports Hall of Fame. That's got to be an honor for you.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. And, you know, during my career, I was fortunate enough to play on some great football teams, and because of that, I was able to receive a lot of individual honors, but nothing compares to being honored by people from your home state. So I'm very excited about coming back up here for February 7th and being part of that affair.
Great. Drew, it's always good to see you.
All right.
Best of luck to you.
Great. Thank you.
And good luck to your Cowboys.
Let's go, Cowboys.
Well, as we get ready to start the third period, Jimmy, you have the scoring highlights.
Yes, and it has been all East Brunswick, as the 22-12 score would indicate. Leading the way for the Bears has been Kevin O'Neill, who has 7 points on 3 field goals, 1 3-pointer. Tim Cannon also has a 3-pointer to go with 2 foul shots for 5 points. Richie Kutza 1 3-pointer, another field goal, 5 points. Szymanski, 2 points from the line, total 2 points. And Eric Phillips has 1 field goal, foul shot for 3 points total, and that's East Brunswick scoring. I should also add that only Matt Berliner has 2 fouls. Everybody else who has been playing has 1 foul. For St. Joe's, only 4 scorers: Corrigan with 3, Durakis with 3, Klo with 2, and Moglia with 3.
Phil, what do you expect here this second half?
Well, I expect St. Joe's to turn up the heat and press all over the court. I expect the Bears to continue to use the big bodies down low, because they seem to be pushing St. Joe's all over the court down low. And if they continue to hitting the outside shot, East Brunswick can take this game.
All right, the Bears will put it in play to start the third period. They lead 22-12.
Phil, what I would think that if St. Joe's is going to press, that might create more easy opportunities for East Brunswick on the fast break itself.
It might, but as I said, St. Joe's ball has always been pressure defense and creating turnovers, just like there, Jim.
There you go, Phil.
And that was
O'Neill on the foul.
And that was a give-up foul. Again, as we mentioned, East Brunswick is not in foul trouble on individual play, so O'Neill picks up his second.
And it's not a shooting foul. They'll take it out on the side. So in that sense, good defense for the Bears again.
The Rockets. Gets it out.
Nice
Corrigan.
That first move was
That
what did
drive
it.
makes it 22-14.
And Corrigan is their leading scorer. It comes in averaging about 14.3 points per game, so you know you're not going to hold him down.
All right, Bears with Kutza.
And you can see the intensity on defensively has been turned up for St. Joe's.
Glover back to Berliner. Cannon able to hold on to it, drives. Finger roll won't go.
And you see what St. Joe's is doing. They're gambling a little bit more, trying to create that turnover.
DeRockis kicked away by Cannon.
Corrigan coming to the top of the key.
And right away, East Brunswick will bring, well, they're trying to bring in Eric Phillips. Official won't let it happen. And Corrigan has it. DeRockis takes it down. Fouled by Glover.
And I've been impressed with DeRockis. As we pointed out, he's just a sophomore, showing good movement, plays good defense, and he's going to be a ball player to reckon with. As I mentioned earlier, a local lad from Milltown, and St. Joe's is going to be glad to have him for the next couple of years.
DeRockis makes it 22-15.
Spotswood loses another one.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're at third period action from East Brunswick High School. The Bears are on top 22-16 over St. Joe's, and there's Berliner all by himself.
I'll tell you, a
good read by O'Neill.
O'Neill showing good vision, good touch.
And that's what I was referring to, Phil. When you have that pressing defense, sometimes there's some holes down below.
Well, that's the point. Is sometimes, Jim, but when you're behind, sometimes you got to gamble.
The Bears by 8, 24-16. Moglia shot won't go. Berliner with the rebound, and he's pushed down.
Forced out.
Oh, they're not calling it.
No, it's going over to St. Joe's.
There's no such thing as a force out anymore, gentlemen.
It's either
a foul or not.
Well, Berliner obviously lost his balance there.
Shot by Corrigan, rolls off, and O'Neill takes it.
And what the Bears want to do, they want to maintain control the tempo. They don't want to get into the St. Joe's type of game. They want to keep the tempo as it is. If they get into a running game, things can happen very quickly.
Foul is on Corrigan.
Kenny Clogg. Hope we got that pronunciation correct.
And Hulsman comes out. Second foul on Corrigan. East Brunswick under their own basket. Gets it out to Phillips. Eric looking for some help, and they're going to call a drive.
I'll tell you, Eric Phillips awfully quick, but we've seen it several times where he's got up in the air with no place to go.
Forces it. And East Brunswick, with an 8-point lead, isn't in a position where they have to force anything.
Slow pace by St. Joe's as they bring it up, move into a half-court offense. Corrigan, Gloff, don't go. Berliner.
And he's been a big force on the boards.
Not sure Clock is the player to take the shot there.
O'Neill finds Cannon in the corner. And they're going to call a travel.
Lots of turnovers this game, which has been a problem for the Bears.
They got to keep up their intensity, continue to play good defense, gentlemen.
Corrigan looking for a lane. He'll put it up. Won't go. Rebound Kutza.
Well, they have obviously pinpointed Corrigan as a player to go inside one-on-one.
Well, the Bears are doing a good job off the defensive board as well, limiting St. Joe's to one shot.
Kutza on the spin around. Yes.
I'll tell you what, he's a streak player. When he gets to hitting a couple, you just want to give him the ball.
Bears by 10, 26-16. 5 minutes remaining, third period. DeRockis to Corrigan. He holds up. Gets it off to Glove. He'll take the three-pointer. Nope. Rebound O'Neill. Cannon.
Bears pushing the ball up court.
Back to O'Neill. Cannon looks for Kutza. They're giving him some room, but Kutza will give it to O'Neal.
Tell you what, I give the ball to Kutza and let him go at it.
Let's see with the ball. Looks across. There's Berliner. East Brunswick, a lot of movement.
Yeah, this is good ball movement, too.
O'Neal across for Phillips. Eric back out to Kutza. Looking underneath.
Ooh.
Throws it away off O'Neal's
He
hand.
certainly had the right idea, but just an errant pass.
Szymanski and Glover will come in for East Brunswick.
And you see Bo Henning, you hear his voice substituting freely, and why not? They're going to be up and down this court and want to make sure that his starters have fuel in the tank in the end.
And that's the pace of this game dictates that.
So St. Joe's will go at it one more time, trailing by 10, 26-16 as Gluff forces one up. Rebound, Glover.
Boy, they're not shy, are they?
To O'Neal. O'Neal drives, pulls up, looks for some help.
Wow.
Moglia on the break, making it 26-18. East Brunswick by 8.
And there's St. Joe's full court pressure.
Glover.
Might want to call a timeout here.
And that's St. Joe's ball right there. Full court pressure, creating turnover. They just came up
the
the
drive
offensive
by
foul.
Corrigan. He dropped the shoulder. His third.
It's
been a physical game thus far.
That's for sure.
O'Neal will bring an 8-point lead with him as he comes up court.
St. Joe's throwing a number of different presses.
3:15 remaining third period as Phillips has it knocked away.
It's a great block by
DeRokas takes it all the way down himself, then gives it to Moglia. He drives back to DeRokas, three-pointer.
Nice form.
Short. And it'll go to East Brunswick.
Well, it doesn't go in.
And Ryan Moglia shrugs his shoulders like, what do you want me to do? I had hit the open man. We just didn't put it down.
Well, St. Joe's apparently believes that it cannot do as well inside
Moglia
underneath.
called.
And they're going to just try the outside shooting.
And Ryan Moglia a little frustrated right now and reaching in, clearly disturbed that they didn't get the basket on that last time down. Reaching in on O'Neal and called for the foul.
Got to move, East Brunswick.
Szymanski finds Kutza. He takes the baseline right into the board.
Rich Kutza is on fire. He's playing the game of
Yes.
his life tonight.
Leading scorer with 9 points for the Bears.
28-18 East Brunswick back by 10. 2:40 remaining third period. They came in with a 2-6 record. St. Joe's 6-2. Obi with the ball. Corrigan forces it and makes it.
And that's just the veteran move by Tim Corrigan there.
Right. Kutza had committed on defense, and so Corrigan was open.
Bears by 8, 2:20 remaining. Third period action from East Brunswick High School. Little give and go. O'Neal looks inside. Nice play to Glover. Couldn't grab it, and they're going to call a travel.
Had the luxury of the ball inside with an open shot.
Big changes for East Brunswick. Hockman.
Phil, I know this is a fast-paced game, but you know, with this in and out, is sometimes does a team have difficulty with developing a little chemistry on the floor?
Continuity, I hear what you're saying, but if you look at the guys, some of the guys are breathing heavy. There isn't great intensity, and they are playing great defense, both teams, and it takes its toll. So you want to have people in there as fresh as possible.
Cannon called for reaching in.
So he picks up his second foul. The fourth team foul for East Brunswick, I believe.
Minute 55 remaining. Bears on top, 28-20. Driscoll will inbound for St. Joe's. Moglia puts it up. Rebound. Berliner. Cannon looking. Gets it to Hockman. Hockman, little give and go. Kutza. Woo! Won't go this time for him.
If that would have gone, the crowd would have been on their feet, no doubt about it.
Corrigan finds DeRokas. Back out to Driscoll. Makes it 28-22. East Brunswick's lead now is to 6.
You know, that's Driscoll's first bucket of the night.
Well, it might be his first
Timeout, East Brunswick.
But Driscoll's a player that does it all for St. Joe's. He's been there 3 years, and in the clutch, he'll come through.
Yep. And averaging 11 points this game, per contest this year.
Bo Henning. And you know Bo's pouring his heart into every word.
Well, Bo's pouring his heart in every word, and we've pointed out time and time again, it seems to bring out the best of him, in him and his team when they play St. Joseph. And tonight they're giving one of those efforts there. If they can continue to control the tempo, if they continue to take good shot selections, play a great defense, they'll take this game tonight. Bo, it seems like just yesterday Bo came here, but this is actually Bo's 5th year here. And he's been one of the more successful coaches in all of the GMC.
Jimmy, the schedule doesn't get any easier for East Brunswick.
Well, at least they're going to get a little break from the Red Division because in another 4 days they're going to be going to host Colonia. Well, we haven't seen them in quite a while, huh?
Right.
Used to be a Red Division foul. The third home contest in a row will be January 22nd against Woodbridge. They're on the road to Piscataway the 26th. And then 2 home games will round out the month of January, the 28th against Bishop Parr and January 30th against Perth Amboy.
All right, the Bears on top, 28-22, 1:15 remaining, third period. Hockman calling out the signals, gets it to Berliner. He's got the lane, he'll take the shot, he's got the basket.
And I'll tell you, once again, if they're hitting shots like that, it's going to be a long night for St. Joe's.
Exactly.
As we pointed out, the Bears have several games under 30%. And tonight they got to be shooting at least 45.
DeRockis with the basket for St. Joe's, makes it 30-24.
And I don't think East Brunswick wants to get into a trading situation.
Cannon has it blocked. They're going to call a foul on Corrigan.
Hey,
His 4th.
Corrigan got a piece of the ball and got a piece of the player as well. But as you pointed out, gentlemen, the more important thing, his 4th foul, and he's an integral part of this team. They can't afford to lose him.
So you got to think they're going to rest him for the remainder of this quarter.
Riley will come in for Corrigan.
And I asked Joe Kozlik about Riley. Is he related to the many Rileys? He said the point about it is the Rileys have all been different. Some have been from Metuchen, some have been from South Plainfield, and some have been from Woodbridge, so they're different Rileys.
Cannon, who has hit his first 2 shots, hits another.
Making it 31-24.
And it's only the third quarter here, even though it's late, but you get the sense that every foul shot is important.
Every point at this juncture.
Bo doing a good job of substituting. Has some fresh bodies in.
A lot of substituting.
Cannon hits the 2nd.
And guess what? It's a 3-point.
And Cannon's developed and it's getting better each game. Was voted the most improved player last year for the JV team, and he's been a fine performer tonight.
So Cannon has the opportunity to complete a rare trio here.
And he does.
Boy, perfect. 5 for 5 from the line.
33-24 our score. The Bears by 9 with 30 seconds remaining in the third period.
By the way, East Brunswick is 8 for 9 from the free throw line tonight.
St. Joe's going to play it down for 1. That is the one final shot of the period. See East Brunswick letting them run about, trying to prevent that back door.
Loga is the guy.
Klopp has it stripped, and they're going to call it on Hockman.
Well, it's not a shooting foul, so that was a good foul.
And I'm surprised that, I'll tell you, surprised Ryan Mowgli gave it up. He's usually the clutch player. When the clock's going down, he usually wants the ball in his hand. He's made an awful lot of big shots in his career, and this time he passed off.
I think that was a good foul, guys.
Oh, they called it on
O'Neal.
O'Neal, his third.
Yes. Great.
Good play by Berliner at the buzzer.
Works very well. So
33-24 after 3.
Sure, you had St. Joe's making, again, another run late in the quarter, but East Brunswick able to fend them off, and then that very nice 3 foul shots by Tim Cannon puts them back up by 9 points. And now East Brunswick, all they have to do is hold St. Joe's off.
They got to continue to play good defense, gentlemen, and as you say, hold them off. Again, I expect that the St. Joe's will be frantic trying to get back in this game. Against Perth Amboy, I think they shot something like 8 3-pointers, so you can expect the 3-pointers sooner or later to start going up. They do have the ability to put them up, but you're looking at the East Brunswick huddle there, and they got to be a confident group right now. They got to be feeling awfully good. They played a solid game all the way around, and you got another problem for St. Joe's is the fact that Tim Corrigan with 4 fouls, and he's one of the top scorers right now with 8 points. They got to get him back in the game.
Well, some St. Joe's students are trying to rally the troops. They've come out with their varsity jackets on. There you see them on the screen.
Well, I suppose that's their cheerleaders. They don't have formal cheerleaders, so that I know of, and not here tonight anyway. So,
and the East Brunswick team is, or the side is
responding.
Yeah, is going to retaliate.
Well, the most important quarter of the season thus far for the Bears. Here it is.
Last 8 minutes, the Bears are on top by 9, 33-24. Driscoll looking, gets it out to Moglia.
What a
Moglia.
Oh,
they're going to call a foul inside against Kutza.
If it is, it's Richie's second.
And Jim, I'll tell you, as Ryan Moglia goes to the foul line, we probably saw him last year at the rack at Rutgers shoot 2 of the biggest foul shots in his career. Yep. Remember that Lenny Floric had been knocked unconscious. Yes. Ryan Moglia had to go to the foul line to shoot the foul shot, shot 2 important foul shots to beat Perth Amboy.
It's there to make it 25 for St. Joe's. East Brunswick lead cut to 8.
7.
And now 7.
Well, you want your seniors out there. Here comes the trap.
33-26.
And East Brunswick recognizes it, John. Did a good job that time.
Cannon gets it to Kutza. Pressure has been turned up by St. Joe's. Hockman looking inside.
Just not a good pass.
And Moglia comes up with it.
Now you want to make good passes in situations like this.
DeRokis. Reverse layup and a foul on Kutza.
And gentlemen, I tell you, you can almost feel the tide there. Just good movement. The key here is that the defensive pressure has been turned up, and you saw it paid dividends right there. And again, I want to talk about DeRokis. So what can you say about him?
9
Jimmy,
points
you
so
joked
far.
that another one Spotswood lost, but
yeah.
Here's a kid from Milltown and a rather impressive ball player.
Makes the 3-point, makes the basket to make it a 3-point play. And East Brunswick's lead is cut to 4 now.
5 quick points.
Not blocking foul.
Foul on DeRokis.
Well, this pressure by St. Joe's causes a team to rattle, and as you can see, East Brunswick's having its hands full right
Bo
now.
was prepared. He knew the pressure would come fourth quarter. They would be frantic, and I'm sure he's talked to the team about it. And they just got to make good passes, control the ball, and take good shots.
Well, they're going backwards now.
Berliner to O'Neal.
Watch the trap.
O'Neal looking for someone. Finally finds Kutza. They look underneath. Cannon. Yes.
Great pass. A great pass by Kutza, the team leader there. Just a super pass.
35-29, the Bears by 6.
Well, you have a feeling this is going to be nip and tuck all the way.
A typical East Brunswick St. Joe's game is in the makings here. Driscoll won't go. O'Neal rebound.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Has it taken by Obi.
Oh, wow. O'Neal felt he was fouled. No call, and they did another turnover.
On the line.
And here's where the Bears got to keep the composure. They definitely got to keep the composure. No pressure on them this time, and a turnover is in place.
35-31. DeRokis Rebound, Kutza.
Big rebound, and he's
fouled underneath.
By who?
Holzman, I believe.
Holtzman. Okay, number 3 on him. And the fouls are starting to mount for both teams. Both teams, excuse me, this is not a bonus situation.
And I'll tell you,
next one will be.
Rich Kutza, Bo Henning said that Rich Kutza doesn't have to be a scorer. He just has an all-around game. Most people think that expect him to score a lot, but he's not a great scorer.
No,
he just plays great defense, great passes, good rebounding, just a solid all-around game, and a good smart timeout there.
Timeout by East Brunswick.
Part of the all-around game,
right,
Phil.
yes, they would have had a 5-second turnover.
Right, and with St. Joe's coming on strong now, a good senior heads-up play, and boy, I'll tell you what, East Brunswick is going to have to recognize these traps. Probably a questionable call down there. O'Neal looked like he was bumped, and that caused him to lose possession of the ball, and Mabako for an easy bucket, 35-31.
But Bo is more than likely doing strategy right now, but also I'll tell them they must keep their cool. They got to expect the pressure to come by from St. Joe's. People have to come to the ball. They can't be waiting to throw balls cross court or anything like that. And they got to protect the ball. They got to protect the ball, and again, make good shots. Take good shot selection, and don't forget about your own defense. You got to still play defense yourself. Put the pressure back on them. Try not to foul, but put the pressure back on them.
Our score is 35-31. The Bears on top by 4. 6:17 remaining in the game.
And let's see. I think all seniors in the lineup for East Brunswick now, except for Cannon.
And Hockman.
This will be they're disguising the defense right now. To watch the trap when they go over center court.
O'Neal with the ball. He will set it. He gets it to Berliner. Knocked away by Moglia.
Good defense by Ryan Moglia there. I'll tell you, a nice bounce pass to Berliner, but you don't want to throw a pass where a big guy like Berliner has to go down for it. Makes it very difficult, susceptible to steals.
So who comes to meet it?
Berliner pulls up, looks for Kutza. Kutza in the corner, brings it back out. O'Neal will set it.
They're going to protect that ball. And when they take a shot, it's going to be a good shot.
Hockman to Berliner.
Wow.
O'Neal.
There it is.
Kutza in the middle.
Wow.
Off the glass.
I tell you, Rich Kutza.
Got the touch.
I thought he might have drew a foul as well. That both of the two St. Joseph players there, both of them pulled back just in time.
37-31.
Important defensive sequence here.
Bears by 6, 5:20 remaining.
This is Driscoll, John. It's back in.
Corrigan sets it to Driscoll, knocked away by Cannon. Hockman right on top of Moglia. Moglia drives, and they're going to call a foul on Hockman. And we move into a bonus situation.
Hockman's first foul, but as John mentioned, St. Joe's now could whittle at that lead with a 1-on-1. Both teams, by the way, in a 1-on-1 situation.
And you take a good look at Justin's big brother, Ryan, in the spirit of Paul Durkin and Larry Bornheimer, an East Brunswick lad that has gone on to St. Joseph to do great things. And you haven't seen the real Ryan Moglia tonight, but he is a great ball player, John. I've seen him in a number of games, and fiery and gutty, and
clutch player, too.
And a clutch player.
Well, he's certainly doing what he has to do at this point, bringing St. Joe's within 4, 37-33.
He's had 5 opportunities to shoot fouls tonight. He's been perfect.
O'Neal being pressured.
That pivot foot, he held still.
Gives it to Phillips. O'Neal looks underneath, has it knocked away, somehow gets it back.
Fortunate.
Kutza, good pass to Cannon, blocked by
And they call the foul.
Corrigan.
Foul by Holtzman before.
I'll tell you.
And hey, good that Tim Cannon goes to the line. He's 5 for 5.
I'll tell you, good movement by the Bears, and you're right, the second defender for St. Joe's slapped it away, but the first one got a piece of Cannon.
Cannon will go to the line, try to add to East Brunswick's 4-point lead.
And as we said, Cannon coming off an 18-point performance against Sayreville. Big foul shot.
Extends the lead to 5. Make it 6. Bears now 39, St. Joe's 33 with 4:40 remaining in the game. Moglia gives it to Durakis. He'll take the shot. Off the rim. Saved by Corrigan, but right to Phillips.
And if you're Bears, you want to slow it down.
There you go.
O'Neal
Good heads-up play by Eric Phillips.
out to Berliner. Knocked away by Durakis, but he'll be called for reaching in.
And that'll be a 1-on-1. And might have been the strategy, by the way. Eric Phillips, well, shooting 74%. Eric 1 for 2 from the line thus far, and a timeout is being called.
St. Joe's calls it.
Wow, what can you say? It looks like the foul shots are going to be very important, Phil. St. Joe's may use the strategy of trying to put East Brunswick, bring them to the line. Now tonight, the Bears, I believe, are 10 for 11, which is very uncharacteristic of this team. They have been shooting 59% from the line, and a lot of the important players for East Brunswick have just not been doing the job. So it could be that they may be talking about that right now.
Well, I'm sure they may be talking about it, but we've been saying all along, and I hate to sound redundant, but St. Joe's seems to bring out the best in the Bears, and they're hitting their foul shots. They continue to play a great defense. Just when it looks like the St. Joe's may make a serious run, the Bears hold them off, and that's the way it's got to continue. Bo Henning, you looking at him, he doesn't care if they win this game by a half a point. He wants to win this game.
Well, Phil, do you unleash Corrigan if you're St. Joe's?
You're going to see a lot of unleashing depending on what the score is and what the time is left. You're good. If they're out of it, you can expect to see some three-pointers. He hasn't told them to do that yet, but they have the ability to throw them up, as they did against Perth Amboy, and if they need be, they will do it here.
All right, Phillips at the line. These are important points for East Brunswick. Bears on top, 39-33. Won't go, but
they get
puts
the
it,
board.
saves it.
Rebound.
Great rebound.
And motion offense they're calling for.
Foul called on Driscoll.
And I tell you,
calling him awfully close.
they're calling them awfully close there. It's a foul. If you're St. Joe's, you don't want to give right there, being in the penalty situation. Wasn't an aggressive foul, but nevertheless.
I don't know, Phil. I just get the suspicion that that St. Joe's believes that the way to whittle at this lead is to put East Brunswick at the line.
Well, if they've done their research, as you pointed out, as a team, they're shooting 59% from the foul line. But hey, they've been hot tonight, so
Yes,
I
they
don't know
have.
if that strategy makes sense at this juncture.
Kutza goes to the line. And hits the net, and that's
But
about it.
On second thought, Jim, you might have something.
Well, if you understand that Richie has only been hitting 38% of his foul shots this year, maybe we want to keep the ball away from him. But anyway, still a 6-point lead for the Bears.
3:50 remaining. East Brunswick putting on a little pressure. Driscoll gets it to Durakis. Back to Driscoll. And he's fouled. Misses the bucket, though. Foul will be on Cannon, I believe.
And the Falcons are driving, doing whatever they have to. As I pointed out early, if you're the Bears, you don't want to stop your defense. You don't want to make foolish fouls, but you don't want to stop putting on the defensive pressure that you've been putting on all game.
Right. You want to try to keep St. Joe's off the foul line because, number one, it gives them an opportunity to score. And secondly, it stops the clock.
We've been talking about Durakis, but Driscoll's from Milltown as well. And,
Yes.
Driscoll averages about 11 points per game, and he is the Mr. Do-It-All for St. Joe's.
Well, he only did it halfway this time. He made one of 2 foul shots, John.
Makes it 39-34. Moglia on O'Neal.
And O'Neal's showing good ball handling skills.
Berliner to Phillips. Kutza.
And no hurry, Bears. What you want to do is take some time off that clock, and you want to make a good shot when you do put it up.
We'll let you watch it.
Yeah, this is nice ball movement here.
Kutza will go right to the basket.
Oh,
foul.
I'll tell you.
Oh, they call a charge on him.
mercy, mercy, mercy. Kutza clearly had the lane, thought he drew the foul, wanted to pull it up, put it up, and they called offense.
And that's his 4th foul.
Now, 2 difficult, unfortunate plays for Richie in the last
what
minute
they've done
here.
is they brought Glover in, putting Kutza back. He will not be handling the ball as much. They brought Glover in, who is a ball handler, so Kutza doesn't draw that foul.
Here's Corrigan. Short, good rebound, Kutza, and a foul called against Driscoll.
And once again, Kutza's showing his all-around game. He does it all.
And Richie will have an opportunity to redeem himself from this charity stripe.
And with the Bears in bonus situation, could add to their 5-point lead.
Even if he makes just one of these.
Yes.
Boy, I'll tell you what, East Brunswick will take it.
40-34. This is a big point.
And
he missed it.
they get the rebound.
Has it blocked.
I think I got to take it out.
Cannon put it on the floor for some
I think
reason.
if you're the Bears, what you want to do is bring that ball back out there. What you want to really do is protect the ball at this juncture.
3-pointer. That's why that
hurt.
Boy,
that foul shot was important.
I'll tell you, a
so
big
good on
mistake
that.
by the Bears. What you want to do on that is bring it back out and take some time off the clock. And they didn't, and it hurt them.
40-37, the Bears by 3 with 2:15 remaining.
Didn't Mike Durakis look good on that shot?
O'Neal looking for someone, finally gets it to Kutza. Inside Berliner, spin around. Kutza on the tap, it won't go.
And here comes the Falcons.
Driscoll, 3-pointer.
Oh, mercy.
And we're tied at 40.
Just like that.
And Bo's calling for a timeout.
I go back, gentlemen, to that foul shot.
Yeah, that was very, very important.
And we're tied at 40.
2 3-pointers brings the score even with a minute 53. Good Lord.
And we talked about the fact that the Falcons had the ability to put up those 3-pointers late in the game, and they just did it there. John, you're right. You don't want to belabor a point, but on that missed foul shot there, what you want to do is get that ball back out, milk the clock a little bit because you were sitting pretty. They didn't. The turnover went down, 3-pointer, and put the Falcons back in the game. Still, the Bears have to maintain their composure. They still have to go back to playing a great defense and taking a good shot when they get one. I'd take some time off this clock and perhaps make them foul me. You're going to have to take your chances. I'm sure St. Joe's is figuring out who they have to foul in a given situation because they want to have their hands on the ball.
Well, a lot of time left, a minute 53. We're tied at 40. East Brunswick at one time led by 10. But they've seen that lead vanish. And this is a whole different ball game now.
All right.
And St. Joe's is going to press all over the court right now. Everybody's in the front court. And he's waving them back. Kozik is waving them back right now.
Here we go. The Bears will bring it up. O'Neal. To Berliner. Foul's going to be called on Corrigan.
And I tell you, a lucky break, because you don't want Greg Berliner putting the ball on the floor. You don't want your big man putting the ball on the floor. You want him getting down low, getting in position, and putting it up. A big break for the Bears.
And that's Corrigan's 5th. So an integral part of their offense leaves the floor.
And Kozlik, if you take a look over here, Kozlik's talking to the officials. He's questioning that call there. Finds it hard to believe that it was called against his player there. But nevertheless, you got not Greg Berliner, you got Matt Berliner at the line. And the 6'7" senior, averaging 12 points per game this year, and probably certainly the most important foul shots of this season. He comes in averaging 57% from the foul line. These are important foul shots.
Well, he hasn't been to the line tonight, so he's looking at the basket for the first time. He has 2 field goals.
Holzman coming back in. Moglia coming out.
That's just the defense. That's for rebounding. That's for rebounding purposes. Moglia is not really coming out, just coming to the side to sort of talk to.
Corrigan sat down. I'm sorry.
That was the insertion of the 5th player for Corrigan fouling out.
All right, Berliner at the line. Misses it.
Big rebound by
Cannon with the rebound. Gets it back out.
This
to
time
Glover.
he brings it out.
1:30 remaining. O'Neal looking for Kutza. He's got him.
Ooh.
Blocked against the glass.
2.
They're calling goaltending.
I'll tell you, Kutza going right up with it. And Jimmy, a good point you mentioned earlier. Cannon this time did bring the ball out, and it made all the difference.
Okay, minute 22, John.
Whoa. They give the basket to Kutza on a goaltending. It's 42-40.
In many people's eyes, a questionable goaltending, but nevertheless, it's called.
By the way, Richie leads with 16 points.
Driscoll takes it inside. Blocked by Kutza.
Wow.
Minute 9. Bears by 2.
No hurry here.
Kutza looking for Glover.
I'll tell you right,
No hurry.
right, Jim. Really no hurry. And you're going to have a timeout by St. Joe's.
And that'll leave them with 1, Phil, after this.
So Kutza gets the benefit of the, he did follow up on that, so he would have got the bucket anyway, but most importantly here, he makes a great block on Driscoll's attempt.
Great block by Driscoll. Driscoll hit the floor hard, and if you're on the St. Joe's side of the bench, you're wondering perhaps where the foul is. But again, Kozlik, along with John Smoji standing above him, Kozlik coaching, getting this team prepared here. And again, he's talking about playing great defense and making a good shot selection. And Kozlik, we mentioned that this is his first year. Did coach two seasons as an assistant coach with Smoji at St. Joe's, but also coached with Smoji for 6 years, I believe, at St. Peter's as well.
I remember him way back at Edison High School being a coach to assistant to Bob Coward. So he goes back a long, long, long way.
16 years coaching in the Edison school system, so he knows a little basketball.
Yeah, guys, I have to admit, when I came here tonight, I did not expect East Brunswick to be in this game. I think they were going through a dismal season. I fully expected to see this team going through the motions, but I forgot. It's St. Joe's that's the opponent.
Right.
Well, Phil and I thought it'd be a close game.
Okay. Sure you did.
Well, we have one on hand. 42-40 with 1:03 remaining. Bears on top by a bucket. And they'll have the ball. Out to Kutza.
Important inbounds.
Plenty of time.
And this
Phillips.
is the time. And this is the time you want your insurance in here. Your good hands, people. And good hustle. And Ryan, look at him. I mean, he's not worried about the fact that he hit the floor. He thinks that he slapped it and went off someone.
Right, and he thinks he's not worried that it went off him either. He's trying anything.
48 seconds. Someone's got to come clean. Timeout.
I'll tell you, the second time they've had to do that, gentlemen, and again, that saved them from the turnover. But again, you want to somehow get that ball in there. In hindsight, a smart move again by Rich Kutza, but I believe that's their last, John?
I think East Brunswick has one more, as does St. Joe's.
Okay.
Wow. So St. Joe's, do you think they're going to try to wait till the ball gets in Kutza's hands? Maybe foul him?
I don't think they're. No, I don't think they can't assume that and wait on that. I think they want to put some pressure on the ball. I think they want to create a turnover if they can, but they don't want to make a silly foul as well. They'll keep the pressure on and hope to get a turnover. If it looks like it's not happened, then perhaps they'll foul who they think is the most appropriate person to foul.
Well, let's see who East Brunswick inserts in the lineup. It looks like Cannon, Phillips, Kutza, Berliner, and O'Neill.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show that this game could turn around East Brunswick's season, and they're certainly playing like it.
Timmy Cannon, what can you say? 7 for 7 from the line, 12 points tonight.
Okay, no one on the ball, no one pressuring the inbound pass.
Well, everybody's covered.
Phillips has it, and he's fouled by Gloff.
I tell you, and
that was the strategy, Phil.
Well, that was the strategy. At this juncture of the game, I don't know, a touch like that.
Now Eric has been 1 for 2 from the line tonight, so he's going to need to make these.
Our score is 42-40 with 47 seconds remaining. Phillips at the line, makes the first, yes.
I'll tell you,
that was a big one.
Eric
Didn't look
Phillips,
comfortable.
The 6-foot senior comes through with a big basket right there, and as I said, Bo has said he's been playing well offensively, defensively, not as tough. Bo talks about body combining.
Real important bucket here.
Ooh.
Off the rim. And they're going to call a lane violation.
No, they're going to give Berliner on a lane foul here.
Okay. Oh, he pushed.
And just not a smart foul right there. I'll tell you, it's just not a foul that you want to give right there. Not that type of foul anyway.
Not a foul that I thought would be called, but I guess the officials are calling much of everything tonight.
They have called it very close.
And Driscoll, the senior, the veteran that's been there, goes to the line, and he sinks the first one.
He'll go back to the line. It's 43-41 now, and no time has come off the clock.
1 second. It was 48 seconds at the last juncture.
Bears with a slim
and there's
1 point lead and a foul against Phillips.
And they appear to be going after Phillips intentionally.
I don't think there's any question about it, Phil. Just 2 seconds go off the clock now. And it just forces East Brunswick to do what it doesn't do best, and that's shoot fouls. Tonight notwithstanding.
And again, another pressure. Again, pressure foul shots by Phillip. The simpler he makes his shots, it appears to be the more success he has. And I'll explain that in a minute.
All right, Phillips. Won't go. Rebound Driscoll.
Oh,
right
wow.
through Moglia's legs.
Wow.
Well, I don't think the strategy is going to change for the Falcons.
Still plenty of time on the clock.
They're going to try to foul again.
Still plenty of time.
And watch Klog. He's the one. He's the hit guy, so to speak. He only has 2 fouls.
All right, so Kutza will bring it in for East Brunswick.
And you can expect St. Joe's to foul right away.
43-42, East Brunswick by 1.
And they did.
And the foul was on Driscoll.
This time it's O'Neill that goes to the line. Hasn't done so yet. A 50% foul shooter, 12 for 24 this year. Faced with arguably his most important foul shot of his career.
But O'Neill's had games where he's put him up and with a fine touch. Let's see here.
He hits all net. 44-42.
Here's the big one right here.
Misses. Bears by 2.
And Berliner doing a nice job not to foul on trying to get that rebound himself.
Well, the same type of defense that East Brunswick has employed all game, they need to come up with right now.
28 seconds. Bears by a bucket, 44-42. Clough, he's fouled.
Just a great move.
He's fouled.
Just a great drive and a great move by Clough. Wow. A 5'7" sophomore, Ken Clough, driving to the hoop,
Cannon.
drawing the foul, and the biggest foul shot of his career about to come up.
Cannon with the foul.
Well, this is for St. Joe's first lead of the game with just 19 seconds to go.
We're tied at 44.
They got to get the, hey, all important rebound. They got to make sure that St. Joe's is not allowed to get the rebound if Clough should miss.
Shot is up and good. St. Joe's takes the lead, 45-44.
Okay.
15 seconds.
Here we go.
Bears down by 1, 12 seconds. 10. Phillips.
Somebody's got to put it up.
Phillips is fouled.
Wow. Woo! Mercy.
6 seconds.
I'll tell you.
Wow. They are calling everything, huh? So Clough commits the foul, and Mowgli is standing on the line.
A little psych job there.
Of course.
Ryan Mowgli standing in front of Phillips. Phillips is going there. Phillips has been in pressure situations before, but I don't know if there's any been as big as this, not in basketball anyway.
6 seconds. Phillips can tie it for East Brunswick with this shot. He does.
He does. Mercy. Okay.
For the lead.
And now for the lead.
He's got to put this down. It's been a great game, gentlemen.
Yes. East
Okay,
Brunswick.
Time's going down. Ryan Mowgli, timeout.
Timeout, St.
4
Joe's.
seconds.
Their last timeout.
Only used 2 seconds off the clock. Get that to the half-court line.
Our score, East Brunswick 46, St.
And
Joe's
take a good look at
45.
Eric Phillips being hugged there, and he came up with 2 pressure-packed
He really
foul
did.
shots there. And right now the Bears are sitting pretty, but there are 4 seconds left. St. Joe's has called out timeout, and
Okay, we have some key substitutions here now. Glover's going to return. You got to understand, that's got to be for his quickness to get on Mowgli, you think. Important to point out, Phil, that Driscoll is not in the game. He is fouled out, so St. Joe's loses a little something inside. Driscoll, of course, is a key man in this, and you got to watch Durakas, who has been really, really tough from outside.
You got to watch Durakas and whatnot. One of 2 things are going to happen. Either quickly they're going to try to get the ball inside to have someone go up, or Ryan Mowgli is going to put it up from outside very quick. Ryan Mowgli is the clutch man. He is the pressure shooter. I'd be surprised if he isn't the last person that touches that ball.
Okay.
Phil, I've noticed last 2 timeouts, John Samoji, who has been sitting quietly listening to Joe Koslick give instruction, is now actively involved, as you can see on
Well,
the screen.
he is a part of it, and let's make it clear. Joe
Yes.
Koslick is the coach without a doubt. He is the head man. John is his assistant, and he's assisting right there.
Everyone's in there.
Mildly, Phil.
All right,
Well, the
Bears
fans
by
are-
1.
Fans are getting up here for this one.
There we go, 4 seconds. East Brunswick by 1, 46-45, down to 3. DeRokas can't control it. Shot is up. He makes it. I
Mercy.
can't believe
I don't
it.
It looked like he palmed it,
I
didn't
thought he
it?
turned it over. I really did.
They didn't call it.
It's all over. St. Joe's 47,
Durakas.
East Brunswick 46.
Tough one. What can you say? And it's been that way for East Brunswick all season, John and Phil. Just when you thought they were going to pull it out.
Well, you see the excitement of the St. Joe's player there.
Some words between the players
And
here
I
now.
tell you, gentlemen, we saw Durakas, who we've been talking about all night, the young player. Take a good look at him from Milltown, who just had the game of his life tonight. Drove in there. I thought he might have turned it over. 2 officials have been consistent all night, did not call it, so apparently he didn't, and just put up the shot of his life. And hey, what can you say? It's been a great game.
It was a good one from the start. East Brunswick started out quick with a 3-0 lead, St. Joe's didn't take the lead back until 19 seconds remained in the game. Tied at 40, tied at 45. Phillips makes two crucial free throws, and then this play happens. DeRockis throws it up, finds all net. What can you say?
While we've been talking about this game could be a confidence maker or breaker, I don't think it's broke the Bears' confidence. Matter of fact, I think it's
Sort of shows them what they can do.
It shows them what they can do. They played a very tough team, one of the better teams in the county there, took them down to the wire, and hey, we saw the last play there, and that was the big difference there. But just the fine all-around game by two rivals.
Yeah.
Two rivals.
And so St. Joseph, you can see they got big grins on their faces, and they're happy to leave the 2-7 Bears. Boy, they almost had it, guys. Almost had it.
Well,
you know, what can you say about Eric Phillips sinking those two foul shots in the last couple of seconds to put the Bears in a temporary lead? Good foul shooting for East Brunswick all night, but in the end, the timely outside shooting by St. Joe's and that pressure is what did East Brunswick in.
DeRockis at the buzzer puts St. Joe's on top, 47-46, and a typical East Brunswick St. Joe's game that like we've seen in the past. So for everyone here at Channel 8, for Phil Hill, Jim Allender, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.